I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about I don't know what was wrong. Well, sometimes when you're going through a breakup, you are completely blindsided. You have no idea what is going on. You don't know why you're getting dumped. You don't know what happened. You might be sitting there thinking in a fog, like, I can't believe this is happening. And I see this stuff kind of happen all the time. And sometimes it's because you don't have a real good understanding of relationships, and you're maybe a little bit more anxious, which would cause you to be selfish and self-absorbed. So what could happen is that, we could have been upsetting our ex during the relationship and just had no idea that we were doing it. Because sometimes we might do things that they're not going to come out and say, hey, you're doing this, it's bothering me. They might expect you to know or read their mind or intuit what they want. And sometimes they just get frustrated after they repeatedly try and tell us something and we haven't heard it. So, and I've got a good email today. But before I start, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we can be selfish in relationships, and a lot of time it has to do with our anxiety. And the reason that I say that is because when we feel disconnected from our partner, it causes us to feel tremendous amounts of anxiety. And we go into like a state of primal panic, where we feel like we're going to die without them. And obviously, if you look at the hierarchy of needs, survival is the most important thing. So, if our survival is threatened, it's going to put us in primal panic, and we're going to feel anxious, and it's going to make us feel like the feelings of death inside. So, some of the ways that your anxiety may have led to challenging behaviors in the relationship, I got a list here of some just to keep in mind, are jealousy, lashing out, threatening behavior. You might be threatening your ex. Oh, if you go out with them, we're done. Or if you do this, I'm done. Acting cold or disinterested, sometimes in a way to punish them. If they don't do what we want, we don't act like adults a lot of times. We get revenge and, oh, I'm going to show them. And it causes, a rift between us. We do demanding behavior, and we want constant reassurance from them. Like, if they don't answer the phone right away, or reply to us right away, or make plans with us right away, we feel that threat. We're scared. We're we lose it emotionally. We lose our emotional balance. Okay? And we'll, obviously do some manipulative behaviors at times, like crying. It can be a manipulation. Ladies, sometimes you cry to get your guy to do what you want. I'm sure there are men that do that too. Arguing, ultimatums, those don't work, but we try and control our partner in an effort to get close, but it ultimately pushes them away. Racing thoughts. We have a lot of fearful thoughts that pop in our mind, and we can't shut them off, and they just spiral out of control. And screaming and cursing. You might get so upset, you just start cursing at the person. I'm done with you. I'm done with this S. I'm done with that crap. You know how it goes. And when we do that, it just pushes our partner away. And sadly, we're not even aware of it, because we're so caught up in our internal state of anxiety and fear that we're not even really considering what we're doing that's upsetting them. We're not realizing how badly we're putting them off and turning them off, and we don't even realize what's wrong. So, I got a good email today, and this is from a woman in her late 40s that just broke up with a guy a couple of weeks ago. And she says that they met through a long-term friend, and they were never engaged or married or anything like that. But they've only been dating a couple of weeks. So in this particular situation, the relationship fell apart really quickly. Now, if you think about it, you don't really have a lot in the emotional bank to say after a couple of weeks that this person is really that interested in you. Because let's face it, you might date somebody for a couple of weeks and you're like, they're okay. I'm not super attracted to them, or I'm not sure if they're my type. We might be very cautious, and you should be, because you don't really know anybody after a couple of weeks. But obviously this woman is very upset to want to, do a coaching after a couple of weeks, and I understand, because she wants to know what she did wrong here. And I'm going to hopefully explain some of this. So she was telling me a little bit about his relationship and what she knew. She said that his mom was quiet and the dad was dominating. So he grew up in a household that wasn't filled with a lot of love. It wasn't very stable. He said he always felt like the odd one out of the family. He was close to his mother, as his dad was always moaning. That's what she said, he was always moaning. Sounds like a wonderful guy. You could see why he would be reluctant to get into a relationship when your dad and your mom are like that. Okay, so she was telling me about the breakup, and she said he didn't respond to a text about making arrangements, but was online with Facebook. I got annoyed that he was ignoring me. I said he obviously isn't too bothered. He texted back and said he had been out with his daughter and apologized. Okay, so what happened there? She reached out. He didn't reply in a timely manner that she expected him to reply. Not necessarily what he should have replied, but he didn't do what she wanted, so she lashed out, she got angry, she lost her emotional balance by saying, well, you can't be too bothered about this. And he's saying, whoa, I wasn't even on there. I was out with my daughter. But she internalized that he had been ignoring her. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But I'll tell you what, if I'm dating a girl for a couple of weeks and I maybe see the message or not, and she starts lashing out at me like that, we're no longer going to be dating, because I want to be with a partner that can exhibit emotional self-control and not be thrown out of balance so quickly. She said, I didn't hear from him after that. I texted him the following day, was really off with me, and was quite clear he didn't want to see me. So it sounds like they texted a little bit back and forth, and he was like probably really apprehensive about the way she had acted the day before, and he's like, I really don't want to deal with this. I've only known her for 2 weeks. I left it a few days and said I missed him and his company, and could we stay friends? See, now we see a little bit of manipulation here, because she clearly doesn't want to stay friends with him. This is all because she's romantically interested, and so she's trying to pretend that she wants to be friends when she doesn't. Now, I like the fact that she was a little bit upfront and saying she missed him. Now, I wouldn't have done that, but she was being honest, but I wouldn't recommend that, so don't you guys sit there and think, oh wait, you're saying you should tell me miss him? No, I'm not. I'm just saying that part of it was at least honest. The second part where she's pretending to be friends, which she doesn't want, that is not honest, okay? He texted straight back saying, of course we could stay friends. He never said we had split, or he missed me, or it was good while it lasted. So now she's really wanting some answers here, or closure one way or another. He made no comment at all on the whole thing. I have initiated no contact since. He hasn't taken me off Facebook. I changed my hair color recently and he liked it on Facebook. I don't know why, he just didn't bother and I want him back. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you don't really have somebody after 2 weeks. Okay? And if you believe that you have somebody after 2 weeks, you're sadly mistaken. It takes a long time for somebody to want to really get into and grow into a committed relationship. And if somebody rushes in, it's not a good sign either. That's a sign of attachment trauma and attachment injuries that people are rushing in. So that's not healthy. But after 2 weeks, you barely know this guy. Okay? Alright, she said, I cried for 2 days and initiated no contact rule. I've got on with my life, changed my hair color. I uploaded a picture of my new look on Facebook and he liked it on Facebook. She said, I never knew what was wrong. He said he liked the relationship and the way it was going when we were dating. He said I don't put him under any pressure. Yeah, maybe for the first week and 6 days you didn't put it under any pressure, but on the second week you put a lot of pressure by being so demanding on him. How do I get him back, and can I get him back? Well, I hate to tell you, but you really don't have him. This is a 2-week relationship, and you barely know this guy. You are only going on early dates. These are just basically, I'm getting to know you a little bit. Listen, I can't tell you how many girls I've gone out with for a couple of weeks, and I'm sure many of you watching this are sitting there thinking, yeah, I go out with a girl for a couple of weeks, couple of dates, and after that, it just doesn't progress, or with a guy, for all you ladies out there. So this is not a situation where you were in a 2-year relationship and you want him back. I mean, you barely know him. You don't even know him. You're just starting to get to know this guy. And it takes time. And you probably really turned him off with all of the behavior that came from the anxiety. You really need to work on that and being a lot more aware of what's going on you internally. Because for me, I think you got a lot of trauma and attachment injuries in your early life that you have such high expectations and demands on somebody that you barely know. And getting so upset over a Facebook message and just assuming he's ignoring you, catastrophizing, making that it's worse, that's really going to turn anybody off. So I would leave him alone. He says he wants to be friends with you. See what he does with it. Maybe he does want to be friends. Maybe he would like to get to know you. Maybe he's busy with his daughter. Your anxiety over the situation is far more concerning than this small relationship with only a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 dates, is, you know, I'm more concerned about what's going on with you internally, that this has been so traumatizing for you, than actually this relationship. I mean, this guy could have went on 2 or 3 dates or whatever it is he went on and thought, oh, she's okay, but I'm not really interested in her. That happens all the time. Or maybe he was just really put off by your behavior. Give him some time. Let him come back around again. Take your time to get to know this guy. You have to take your time with people. It takes a solid 2 years to really get to know somebody. We go through cycles in our life too. For example, around the when my mom passed away, there's a period of time where I start to think about her and my life and reflect on things, and that's natural for a lot of people. So people that have had traumas in their childhood or traumas in their past, they will come up around those certain times a year, maybe a divorce or a massive breakup. Those things do come up, and you got to take a couple years to get to know somebody before you're going to say, oh, you know what, it's March. Every time in March, we go through a problem where he's distant, he wants to break up, and you know, that's around the time he had his divorce a few years ago, so it probably comes back up for him. And so you kind of know those patterns, and you kind of understand the person that you're with better. So, if you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, I do Skype coaching, and if you need to get with me right away, I do after hours emergency Skypes. So that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.